To preface, I have watched plenty of videos on the importance of preservation in media, but more specifically video games. I was recently asked by a friend on what games I'd been playing recently, and I answered with games from previous generations such as Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced, and also, a little more recent Ninja Gaiden Sigma from the Ninja Gaiden Sigma Master Collection, or the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. In some capacity, these games have been preserved by the respective companies either through a remaster or remake, a selling in the game store, like the Microsoft Store or the PlayStation Store, and etc. I feel that we as gamers should celebrate this kind of achievement wholeheartedly through actions like purchasing and lauding the companies as a whole. I am currently associated with several groups on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One X for several of these older games. Like in Rainbow Six Vegas, they have like these little parties, and somebody creates like an invite. Hey, there's going to be a date where we're going to play. You say, hey, I'm coming, or I'll be there, and we play. And also, they associate with. I know on PlayStation 4 they make like these different parties, and they have different games on there. Some people are fairly new. So, when they're diving in for the first time and getting acquainted, it's a lot of fun because you can share your knowledge on those games. And also, you are the one getting accustomed to these older games. Like, for instance, I think I have Dark Cloud. I'm not associated with the group, but I have, looked around on it, and some people are just barely getting into Dark Cloud. I've only played like a little tiny bit of Dark Cloud. The first one, I don't remember if I played the second one, but the first one I played a lot of. So going into that, I was like, oh, wow, this is very interesting. It allows me to enjoy the game further. And, those are, that's a really cool way of you getting interested, getting more involved with these kinds of games. So playing several games, several PlayStation 3 games through PlayStation Plus Premium has been a little frustrating, but serviceable. The only thing I can say is at least we get to play some of those games, because some of those games are really hard to find either in store, either they don't sell it in the store like the PlayStation Store, or it's really hard to find online. So like for example, I think there's Wild Arms it's a PlayStation 1 title, but I think a PlayStation 3 title that I've been dying to play was I think it was White Knight Chronicles, the first one. I think it was the international version. It's really, really hard to find that version of the game. They have White Knight Chronicles, but obviously back then it was region locked. So I finally get to play the international version. And as I said, it's serviceable. Like you can play it. It's been a little frustrating because, if you need to, make a sandwich, or like for right now I have a child, so if I have to make sure he's fed, or I change his diaper or something like that, I have to hold him a little bit. The game closes. I'll go more into detail on that. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But essentially, if you stop playing the game, it'll kick you out. Game Pass is similar in that regard. However, it doesn't kick you out right away. But anyways, moving on. I mean, that's all I can really say on the subject matter. It's just, you have all of these different resources in which you can play these older kind of games. And as I said, it's all about celebrating these kinds of games, because we should be, no matter how, I guess, poor however poor it's translated over, like whether it's through like a ROM, or it's like, as I said, like it's on PlayStation Plus Premium, we should be happy that we have these kinds of things. So to close, I just wish that, I didn't bring up Nintendo, right? But I wish Nintendo would be more open on these kinds of things. They have their own service where you can download and play like some older games on the Switch. But the thing is, they do this every single time. They close the store, and you lose kind of that bit of history. So people do these a way for you to play them, and it's not even like a legal way to play them, just to play them and enjoy them, and just laud history. So I don't know why Nintendo's not on board with that. And then we need to be more positive on things that we can get. And as I said, Sony's PlayStation 3 backwards compatibility via the PlayStation Plus Premium it's a work in progress. I believe Sony said something like, oh, it's not going to be like this forever where you stream it. It's, I think they eventually want to have us download the game. I don't know why it's taking a little bit longer. People online have been showing us that it's very capable of doing these kinds of things. I just don't know. But I'm just glad, that we have a way to play them in some capacity. Not every game is there yet, legally. But, that's why it leads to the last one. We just have to be more proactive, just always keep reminding them, hey, we want these kinds of things. We love the history of video games. Like, I watch plenty of videos now, like, from different YouTubers, like they laud and appreciate these older kind of games and say, hey, without these kinds of games, we wouldn't have X, Y, and Z. That's what I mean by respecting. That's what I mean by appreciating. We shouldn't be in a position where like, hey, we're gonna have a remake of this game, but we're it's gonna be different, or it's gonna be like more modern. And I'm not saying that that's particularly bad, but it's good to appreciate and celebrate the time in which it came out. Like Final Fantasy VII, specifically, when that game came out back in the day, like versus now, like if the remake is the first time you're playing the game, that's fine. It's more modern. Like, hey, we have DLC stuff, but back in the day, you got everything out, and it's good to it's good to celebrate that. It's good to just be like, this is how it was, and this is where we're at now. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but the only way we're gonna know about this kind of stuff is if we dive right in. And sorry about that. I kind of separated a little bit, but I said being patient. So although we're proactive, we have to be patient. So Xbox, they came out with like 100 more games on, I think, last year, like the Dead or Alive games. So I had those games, but I had to get out my original Xbox to play them. I can now play them on my Xbox One X. So, I mean, being patient and telling them all the time, hey, we want these kinds of things, we want these kinds of things. I know it's really hard. They have to put their own resources into it to do these kinds of things. But if we're patient and we keep reminding them, hey, we love these games, we want to, although it's nice to get these newer ones, it's nice to play the older ones. So instead of us being divided, we should, we pretty much want the same thing, and that's embrace and admire video games as a work of art. To close, that's pretty much just it. So just be sure to stay healthy, positive, and good. I will see you I hope, I'm not technically going to see everyone, but I hope to hear from everyone, or, most people, on the next video. Later, guys.